This is the Westinghouse iGen11000DFc portable inverter generator. This is basically a big, powerful generator designed to keep your house or your campsite running smoothly when the power goes out. It's built for folks like me who want reliable backup or need power on the go without fussing over complicated setups. So let's talk about how it looks and feels before I share my experience. The iGen11000DFc stands out with its blue and black color scheme, which I personally think looks really sharp. It's not flashy, just clean and modern. Kind of tells you from the start that this isn't some cheap throwaway machine. The whole thing is encased in a sturdy shell, and you can tell that Westinghouse put a focus on durability. There's a big handle for pulling it around, and it rolls on these heavy-duty, never-flat wheels. For something this strong, I find it's made about as portable as it could be. On top, there's a folding handle and a lift bracket, so it's possible to move it, but I'll admit, this one has some weight to it, coming in at around 187 pounds. Not light by any means, so moving it solo takes effort, but if you have a second person or use the built-in wheels and handle, you can get it where it needs to go. The control panel is straightforward, with a digital LED data center display showing your fuel level, how much power you're pulling, how long until you run out, voltage, and lifetime hours. All super easy to check, especially for someone like me who doesn't want to guess when the next fill-up has to happen. The plugs are all covered with rubber caps, which not only help in keeping dust and junk out, but add a little peace of mind around water or messy locations. From my experience using the iGen11000DFc, I actually started out feeling a bit intimidated. I've owned smaller generators before, but something this size seemed like it might be too much. Turns out, the setup isn't bad at all. There's a quick start guide included in the box, and everything you need to get going, like oil, a funnel, and some basic tools, is right there. The hardest part for me was moving it into position. Again, the weight, but starting it up was honestly easier than I expected. The push-button electric start works right away, and there's also a remote key fob so you can fire it up without even stepping outside. That was a huge bonus when it was raining last weekend, and I needed to use it to power some lights out back. The generator runs surprisingly quiet for something this powerful. I was expecting a real roar, but I measured about 64 dBA from a short distance. For reference, that's quieter than a vacuum cleaner and means you can actually have a conversation near it without yelling. Really useful in the backyard, camping, or for residential use when you don't want to bother neighbors. Power output is one of the key features here. This unit delivers up to 11,000 peak watts and 9,000 running watts when you're using gasoline and slightly less with propane. For anyone new to generators, peak watts is the most power it can deliver in a short burst, say when your air conditioner turns on. Running watts is the steady output it can maintain as things operate. Long story short, there's enough juice here to handle just about any combination of appliances in my house. Refrigerator, sump pump, lights, and even a portable AC unit. Plus, I can bring it camping or use it on a job site. Another big thing I like is the dual fuel capability. I mostly use gasoline as it's easy to come by, but the fact that it also runs on propane means I'm not stuck if I can't get to a gas station in a power outage. Switching between fuels is very straightforward. This flexibility just adds to my overall confidence in having it around for emergencies or longer trips. The remote electric start is probably my favorite part. There's nothing worse than trudging outside in a storm to yank on a pull cord, especially if you're tired or it's dark. With the key fob, I just press a button and the generator fires up from the warmth of my kitchen. And if for some reason that doesn't work, there's a push-button start as backup. It's simple, and honestly, once you've used remote start, it's really hard to go back. For runtime, this thing can go the distance. With a nearly 10-gallon gas tank, I've had it running for up to 17 hours. That covers an overnight power outage or a whole day at a remote site before I have to refill. If you're running on propane, it's a little less at around almost 10 hours, but still plenty for most uses. The fuel gauge is practical too, so I'm not left guessing when I'll need more. Safety shouldn't be overlooked, and I actually feel a lot better knowing there's a built-in carbon monoxide sensor. That's a big deal if you're new to using generators, as they should always be run outdoors. If unsafe CO levels are detected, the unit shuts itself down automatically. Westinghouse also includes GFCI outlets, which are grounded and help prevent electrical shocks. There are some downsides. The most obvious one for me is the weight. Even with wheels, 187 pounds is not lightweight, especially if you need to get it up steps or onto a truck bed. I can move it alone on flat ground, but it's much easier with two people. If you plan on relocating it often, just be ready for a bit of heavy lifting. Setup did have a learning curve the first time I took it out of the box. There's a bit of assembly, nothing crazy, but if you're not comfortable with basic tools, you might want an extra pair of hands. I wouldn't call it complicated, but it's not plug and play in the literal sense right out of the packaging. Fuel consumption is another thing to keep in mind. While I'm impressed with the runtime, this generator is big and does go through a decent amount of fuel, especially if you're running it at full capacity. That's to be expected, but for those looking for absolute fuel efficiency, you might find smaller generators to be better suited for lighter needs. In conclusion, the Westinghouse iGen11000DFc is just a solid generator that does exactly what I need. The dual fuel capability, long runtime, and remote start take a lot of stress out of power outages and make it super versatile for home backup, camping, or a job site. It gives me peace of mind knowing it can safely run sensitive electronics since the power output is clean, which is great for laptops, TVs, and chargers. The noise level is comfortably low for the amount of power it puts out. If you're looking for something portable, just realize you'll need to plan for the weight. I'd recommend this for anyone who wants strong, flexible, and dependable power for their home, cabin, or outdoor adventures. Personally, it made dealing with sudden outages way less stressful for me, and the peace of mind is worth it. If you found this quick review helpful or have any questions about using portable generators, drop a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more real-life product experiences and tips. Thank you for watching.